Let's talk about manifesting abundance or operating from a state of abundance. By the end of this video, I'm going to demystify how you're going to be able to do that because I get asked all the time, Tristan, how do I operate from a state of abundance if inherently I am currently in a reality of scarcity or a reality of lack, right? If you're somebody who has limited resources in your bank account, if you are somebody who had a downswing inside of your business recently and you're feeling like you want to cut out your ad spend and turn off your ads, like all of these different things, right? How can I operate from a place of abundance if that is my external reality? If you don't know who I am, my name is Tristan, and I have the privilege of helping founders, entrepreneurs, salespeople, high-level operators with things like limiting beliefs, understanding their self so that they can be their best self inside of their business and inside of their relationships so that they can actually achieve all of the things that they consciously desire inside of their lives. The $1 million months, whatever their milestones are. And so, like I said, today in this video, I'm going to demystify this for you. And it really is very simple. The common misconception is that I want to manifest abundance. Now, yes, we can manifest an abundant reality where we are abundant in certain things, but I wouldn't look at it as though you desire to manifest abundance. You should be looking at abundance as a state of mind or a mode of operation for making decisions, right? And I'm going to explain that to you in the simplest of terms. Under the circumstances of two separate people, or two separate people with the same circumstances, right? And so if we have person A, who I'm going to draw as a stick figure, you'll have to excuse my very limited art skills. We have person A right here. Let's give him a nice, actually we're going to give him a sad face because he's operating from a place of scarcity. So person A has a scarce mindset. And we're going to draw now person B. Again, excuse the art skills. And person B has a smiley face because he's operating from an abundant mindset. Abundant. I forgot how to spell. Mindset. Perfect. And now, these two people are operating from different places mentally, but their external realities are the same. Let's say they each have $1,000 left inside of their bank accounts. So their external circumstances are identical, but the way that they are going to move through their life is going to be inherently completely different, like entirely different. And that is what I need you to understand when it comes to operating from a state of abundance and how you're going to do so while your reality doesn't reflect that state, right? So as a result of person A operating from a scarce mindset with the limited resources he has available, he is going to allow the external reality that he is living to dictate his internal reality, which, as we know, is backwards. Our internal reality always dictates our external reality. So you should never allow circumstance to affect the way that you are actively feeling on a macro level. Obviously, we're going to feel different micro level events and the emotions of those events, and you shouldn't try to avoid that. But on a macro level scale, and when you're making macro level decisions, you should always operate from a place of my internal reality is going to dictate the way that I feel externally. As a result of the scarce mindset that he has and his external reality dictating the internal reality, he is operating from a place of fear, a place of scarcity, a place of concern, and above all else, as a result of all these things, risk aversion, right? And so this is who he is now. That is his default mode of operation as a result, the external reality. And when you are thinking these things and you make decisions from these places, they're essentially like wearing beer goggles, right? He is going to be looking for things that is going to reinforce this mindset, reinforce the external reality that he's living, the limited amount of resources that he has. And now, that is going to impact the way that he can attract more things to him that would get him out of this reality, right? Because as we know, if you watch my other videos, our dominant emotional state is the frequency that we emit out into the universe, and the energy and the frequency that we emit out into the universe is what the universe is going to give us back in return. And so because this is his dominant state, he is just going to be attracting more of this stuff to him. And now, as a business owner, as somebody who wants to achieve great things, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to explain to you that this is probably not where you want to be operating from, right? Because it's going to keep you hemmed in a shell. This is why people operate in a 9-to-5 job for their entire lives, because they're operating from this place. They think that this $1,000 they have is the last $1,000 they'll ever see. They think that no money is coming to them, right? And if money were to come to them, it's only going to come to them in times of dire need, right? They're like, I need to save every last penny of this amount of money because I've got bills coming up. I've got this coming up. I've got that. Oh, I've got that in 2 years that I got to pay off. I gotta save my money. Now, what you should be doing is you should be operating as if you have this amount of money right here, even though you only have this amount of money. And when I say that, I don't mean go and spend a whole bunch of money, but I mean you should be embodying the emotional state that you would be embodying if you did have that amount, because that is going to make it so that the macro level decisions that you make about your business, about your life, who to spend your time with, who to do this, who to do that, how to do anything, is going to be based on this guy, which we'll get into right now. And it's going not to be based on all these limiting mindset things, right? And so person B, as a result of operating from an abundant mindset, he is not going to let his external reality dictate his internal reality. He's going to have his internal reality dictate his external reality. And so he's going to acknowledge the fact that he has only $1,000 left to his name, but he'll be operating from a place not like this. He's going to be operating from a place of confidence, from a place of, what's the word I'm looking for? From a place of certainty. That's the word. From a place of certainty. From a place of calm. From a place of risk-taking. Right? He is going to be embodying the type of behaviors that he would have in the emotional state that he would have if he had an extra 3 zeros at the end of the number in his bank account. And that is what he needs in order to actually make that his external reality. And so the difference between person A and person B is not what they have and the reality externally that they are living. It is the way that they are perceiving the external reality that they are living. The state mentally and emotionally that person A is operating from is a scarce one. They have allowed external circumstance to dictate how they are perceiving the life that they are living. And that is inherently operating from a state of scarcity, not a state of abundance. Person B, on the other hand, has not allowed that to happen. They have not allowed their external reality or the facts of the external reality to dictate how they feel internally. They have embodied the mental and emotional state of abundance, which is going to allow them to make decisions that are in line and congruent with the ones they need to make in order to actually attract this amount of money to them. So when you ask yourself the question, hey, how do I operate from a place of abundance when I inherently don't have the physical money that would dictate that I perceive myself as abundant? You don't need that. You just need to operate from a place mentally as if you do. It's really that simple, right? And as a result of that, you're going to do better things that are going to get you closer to that outcome, like I've said already a couple of times before. Because if you're constantly looking for negative things, I promise you, you will find negative things. But if you constantly look for positive things, I promise you, you will find positive things. It's like when you're driving or you see a nice car that you really want, all of a sudden you went from a reality of never having seen this car before to seeing it all the time. It's just because you focus your attention on it. And so if you've made it to the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys a little Easter egg. Abundance is inherently paradoxical. When we are operating from a place of scarcity, it doesn't exist. You can actually never not be abundant, because when you are operating from this place of scarcity, you are simply abundant in lack. But when you are operating from a place of abundance, you are abundant in acquisition or in having the actual thing. And so if you feel as though you are operating from this place of scarcity, if you feel scarce in your life right now, the easiest thing to do is to understand this and understand what you are being abundant in lack of, right? Oh, I lack money. I lack employees. I lack a good system. But what you are abundant in is opportunity, skill set, people, network, whatever it may be. And so when you start thinking about the things that you inherently have rather than the things that you don't have, you very quickly shift into a state of abundance rather than a state of scarcity. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, obviously make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment, or you can reach out to me on Instagram. The link will be in the description. I have been able and had the privilege of helping, a bunch of different founders and entrepreneurs and stuff with the principles that I talked about today, and also had the privilege of talking, as I'm talking to you today, in front of hundreds of entrepreneurs also about the same topics. So if you feel as though you are struggling with some stuff that we did talk about today, and you would like some help getting over that and overcoming that, you can feel free to hit the link in the description to book a call with me. I'll help you understand how to become abundant, how to operate from a place of abundance so that you can grow your business in the way that you want to, grow yourself in the way that you want to, in ways that feel easy and not difficult to achieve.